Wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people wey dey spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one na dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. And in dey touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be dey holla say dem want the power. Chai, dem be promise us say we go get light and power. Dem hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person wey dey do evil no wan make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too dey talk. He too dey talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street dey hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
You there. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to everyone from wherever you are joining us. It is Máyégún live. And thank you so much for joining me. This should also serve as the Sunday sermon on Máyégún's Diary Political, right? So after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description of the broadcast as well, okay? And then like it, hear it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them to join us. Máyégún today, Máyégún is live. And thanks to every one of you who said, like I done that, okay? Thank you. Now tonight, we are starting with the trending interview granted by Tinubu's minister named Hannatu Musawa. She is the minister of culture and what have you, indeed. So mostly about entertainment and other stuff. So she sat for like an hour with Seun Okinbaloye on his popular podcast called The Mic On yesterday, or it was published yesterday, where she was asked about how the renewed hope agenda of Tinubu, how is that going, and moreover, how are they planning to convince Nigerians in 2027 next year to vote for Tinubu? Okay, then the opposition, where you have Peter Obi in the ADC, Peter Obi, Atiku, and all that. And if you have been following the political conversation in the last few months in Nigeria, especially when it has to do with the ADC, so Peter Obi and the Obedience, who joined them officially in December, have been very much like loud to say, the Obedience, they have been very loud to say, if ADC is not going to give their ticket to Peter Obi, then they would be, they will not be part of any of that coalition or an effort to get rid of Tinubu next year. There is also this general obsession with the Tinubu team when it comes to this Obi thing. So almost every one of them kind of like speaking the same thing. So Musawa said one of the things that is actually going to scatter the ADC before even any election is held would be how they manage who becomes what in ADC. There are those of them who believed strongly that Atiku would step down and the northern Nigeria won't accept Peter Obi in the camp of Tinubu. So therefore, there is no way, even if you have to match the two of them to face Tinubu in 2027, they still won't get rid of him. So that interview is what we're going to dissect a bit. Yeah. Compare and contrast, analyze where we can, and then move on to the next topic. So Musawa will be our opponent. So he was asked about the influence of likes of Obi, Atiku, Rufai, and others in ADC. This is what she had to say, especially the trio in this part.
Yes, you spoke about the possibilities and the capacity of the Tinubu and Shettima to deliver those renewed hope agenda, but it will take a lot of convincing to Nigerians to make them believe again if you're going back to the polls and saying, okay, yes, this is what we promised in 2023, whether or not you have performed or you have fulfilled them. But you look at what is happening. A prominent daughter of northern Nigeria, you think that you can match in influence, in eloquence, and in terms of stature with the likes of Rufai, Atiku Abubakar, and some other top northern political leaders who are determined that President Bola Tinubu and the APC must be taken out of prominence and never to be re-elected.
No, Atiku, Vice President Atiku Abubakar, I mean, he's a formidable, I think all of them, to be fair, all the members of the opposition, to be fair, are formidable opposition. You know, they really are. And I think all of them have obviously played a part in Nigerian politics. So obviously they would have reached the top of their own career in politics, what have you. But honestly, I do not see, especially the way the opposition is emerging, I don't see how the opposition, as it is now, can unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. You have an opposition that is overcrowded, and you have an opposition of men who, what do they say, what do they call them? The man who must be king or something. Every single member of that opposition is vying for the same spot, and only for that spot, and nothing but that spot. So that in and of itself, I think, creates a recipe, a little bit of a recipe for disaster. And I don't think Nasser El-Rufai, I don't think he's really a person that has the ability to take votes from, I think he's the one I can see from the Northwest. I don't see him being able to take any votes from the Northwest in a way that will injure.
And the Atiku Abubakar factor doesn't scare you?
No, of course, the Atiku Abubakar factor is a factor, because Atiku Abubakar is a patriot and a formidable Nigerian. Of course, we're not taking it lightly at all in terms of the fact that we have to do all we can to campaign and to deliver a second term for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And but if you put Mr. Peter Obi together with Atiku Abubakar together, I think, well, somebody has to be president, and somebody. So who are we? I mean, how is that going to be resolved? Is it going to be a combination of the 2019 ticket of Vice President Atiku with a running mate, Peter Obi, in which case I don't think that obedience will be very happy. And if it is the other way, I don't see Peter Obi having the ability to galvanize the core northern votes in the way that he was unable to the last election. And that's, honestly, that's just the truth.
Yes, you spoke.
No, it is not. Musawa. But we are going to dissect what she said, because she is speaking from what she is pretty much knows in their camp. Here is how I am going to try to kind of like break that down in a way that, no, she is wrong. Not the way she put it anyway. And to ADF, we have experimented this style, right? I would advise you check your device. Maybe you should increase the volume. Maybe yours, not from here. And when you use that, like, we can't hear you, you are probably the only one that is not hearing me. Or is that general? Like, are you all struggling to hear what I'm saying? Like, away from the microphone? Or like this? Let me know if everyone is struggling to hear me, so that I can deal with that. And if you are the only person, or maybe few, increase the volume of your own device, please. Okay. Yeah, it can be like that sometimes, all right? But check your own device and make sure that there's no other thing probably playing in the background as well. I think we are clear, right? So there is this sort of like obsession that I have personally observed when it comes to the Tinubu's camp, his ministers, especially his ministers, all right, his advisors and the rest of them. There is this obsession about Peter Obi. They are not as obsessed with Atiku as they are with Obi. And most of the time, they are banking on their own sort of like projections, the same projections that, that kind of like failed in 2023, that made them to disrupt the entire electoral process, shut down the result platform in order to get Tinubu in. So you get, it's not like they are so superb in all of that, but their permutations are like, this is not going to work. Atiku is always interested, is always going to contest, no matter what. Peter Obi cannot contest with them if they do primaries. Listen to this one. This is their own workings. And that's what they are just waiting to play out. That is where Musawa is kind of like talking from, okay? So their permutation, which is what they are pushing in the media as well. Peter Obi and the obedient, they know that Atiku is going to get the ticket, and it doesn't matter how he gets the ticket, right? They will believe that Peter Obi is cheated. So on that note, disobedience, okay, they will not be able to have a place to, support this Obi. And if Obi had to go to another party, then that means it's no longer a threat. Then they're also telling themselves, right, ignoring the fact that what they call their coalition means the good, the bad, the ugly, the evil, the whatever, all of them are coming together. And they are all going to use their own, what they believe, their own strength in their own, base or support base or regions to give the support to one person that will be the candidate. Here you get now. So from the north to the south, to the east, to the, everywhere, right? So this is what the coalition is all about, all the talk about it, where everybody will use their strength and ensure that they stopped APC rigging. That's the plan. But APC is making people believe that, no, don't. See, even if they give it to Obi, the Northerners will not vote for him because they won't vote for infidel. And that's where I'm going as well, because she said something like that in that interview, where she said, when she was asked, we are hearing the rumor that they want to remove, or Tinubu want to change Shettima in 2027 because they don't want to go with the Muslim ticket anymore. Do you know what she said? She said, no, I don't think that's going to really happen. Like, that's not going to fly. If APC is not going to run into trouble, Peter Obi is not trouble. Atiku is not trouble. All these coalition things are not problems. The only problem Tinubu will face if he should remove Shettima and replace him with, because that ticket, the only thing that can win APC election in northern Nigeria must be Fulani, Kanuri, that's actually Muslim. Same people where they tell you, say, those of you who didn't support Tinubu, you supported Peter Obi because he promoted religious bigotry, something like that. Are the same people who are now telling themselves, even in the open, you are going to hear it, in the open, that the North will not vote for any Christian. They are saying it. They said, the North will not vote for any Christian. So Peter Obi cannot galvanize any vote from the North, which means the North will not vote for any other person except Muslim. But you, there are probably questions that will be called the bigot. Anyway, here is the addition to the, like, how are they going to do it? Now, this is where she now said something about if Obi is the candidate, this is what will happen. The North will not want to vote for if it is Atiku that becomes the candidate, that means Atiku has betrayed the north-south, the north-south dichotomy, where they are switching power. Are you following? Listen to this.
Ahmed Tinubu. And, but if you put Mr. Peter Obi together with Atiku Abubakar together, I think, well, somebody has to be president and somebody, so who are we? I mean, how is that going to be resolved? Is it going to be a combination of the 2019 tickets of Vice President Atiku with a running mate, Peter Obi? In which case, I don't think that obedience will be very happy. And if it is the other way, I don't see Peter Obi having the ability to galvanize the core northern votes in the way that he was unable to the last election. And that's, honestly, that's just the truth.
So Atiku Abubakar is no match for Bola Tinubu in your own books in 2027?
I don't think he is a match. I think he's a formidable opponent. But I do not think in 2027 that Vice President Atiku Abubakar, as much as I admire him and he's such a great patriot and, he's like a father of mine, I would say, but I don't think he's a match for President
Even if Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi comes together,
but as who and who?
If Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi come together as on the same ticket, yeah.
Okay, with Peter Obi as the vice president. Mm-hmm. So the obedience that have vowed not to support, that's going to upset a lot of obedience because they're not really willing to take Peter Obi as a vice presidential candidate, are they? So that's going to upset a lot of people that a lot of people are going to have to eat a crow that said they wouldn't support Peter Obi if he became vice presidential candidate.
I don't think...
And if it's the other way round, or rather if Peter Obi is on the ticket as a presidential candidate, then that is the fastest way the opposition is going to lose this election. I promise you. I promise you, Seun, honestly. And if it's the other way, then we have to now question again our sentiment of saying the power should stay in the South for 8 years or for the full term of. So if it's Atiku on that ticket, so that means ADC does not recognize that the South should maintain power. So that's a betrayal of
there's a lot of
the
debate.
sentiment.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate and quite a few rumors going around. And when elections are approaching, and this is what you see, and it's growing by the day, that the possibility of your party considering to jettison the Muslim ticket and the possibility of thinking that there should be a Christian running mate to President Bola Tinubu in 2027.
So we're going to come back to that, So if there are those, different people, they give different permutations when it comes to this, their political journey to 2027. There are those who believe that with what happened in 2023, if Peter Obi and Atiku were together, they could have amassed over 10 million votes that would have defeated Tinubu in their permutations. So therefore, they have been pushing for a while to see if Peter Obi would accept to be vice presidential candidate to Atiku. And in that sense, they believe it is a winning party because they won in 2019. Again, like I said, some pundits, I'll use pundits for them, because everybody is like a political projectors these days anyway. Nigerian politics is kind of the type that you cannot 100% bank on what happened now until you see what will happen in the next 24, 48 hours. There are some that they will leave traces where you can use those pieces to where this is headed. Okay, so there are these pundits who believe that may work, but there is also this bias of those who said the obedient, they are never going to become the instrument of bringing the career criminals back to power. So that giving Peter Obi second, making him a vice presidential candidate is a no-no that even Peter Obi himself cannot accept. And if he, by any chance, should say, okay, they agreed on an arrangement that Peter Obi will be a vice president, then he is expected to lose more than half of his base projection. But there are those who insisted that, well, how about Atiku kind of like showed this surprise everybody, right? By just not running and presenting somebody to be the running mate to Obi. Okay. So in that regard, they can then team up from the north to the south. Even there are those who are speaking in support of this Obi joining them, because according to them, the reason why they won't want Obi to play a second fiddle is simply because if he's the head, yes, they will have their political deals on how to share political offices, but everybody will still have to report to the man who is the president. And therefore, according to them, trusting Obi is that he would never allow them to pillage the country and do nothing about it. So that's their own bet. That is sellable. Why not make Obi the candidate? There is this sentiment of the Islamic North. The political class have built this age-long sort of like myth that the northern part of Nigeria is Islamic North, which is not true. But within that same bracket of the North, they put the narrative of the northern majority of the North will not really vote for Christians. But they did vote for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan because the political permutation at the time probably favored some of them in the North. And here you get. But now APC is kind of like at a dilemma from what we have heard, right? One of the things that the people who want the government of Nigeria to be sanctioned because of the allegation of them shielding the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria, right, is the fact that the Muslim ticket, which produced Tinubu Muslim, Shettima a Muslim, they said that in itself has sort of like fueled the spread of the Islamic jihadism, because the governments have played so much kind of like mouth when it comes to like, just word of mouth in battling and ending the terrorism. So this Muslim ticket should not be allowed to continue, because it has not only kind of like enabled terrorism in Nigeria, it has also encouraged Islamic fundamentalists, have been an Islamic terrorist and Islamic extremists to begin to push the agenda of their Sharia down the southern part of the country through all the, they want this Sharia to be codified as part of every state's criminal or whatever law. Something that is believed, right, is political Sharia. And political Sharia simply means it is always going to be used in targeting people. So Muslim tickets, it was rumored, or it is rumored that Shettima may be sacrificed for Tinubu to scale through his second term. But how is he going to do that with enough? Here is what his own minister had to say. Hannatu Musawa said, well, if Obi is no problem, Atiku is no problem. Not using Muslim ticket in 2027 could actually be a problem. Did you follow?
There's a lot of debate.
Sentiment.
Yeah, there's a lot of debate and quite a few rumors going around. And when elections are approaching, and this is what you see, and it's growing by the day, that the possibility of your party considering to jettison the Muslim ticket and the possibility of thinking that there should be a Christian running mate to President Bola Tinubu in 2027. That means that there is a possibility, if the rumors were true, that Vice President Kashim Shettima might be dropped ahead of 2027. What do you think that they are, or how do you think the North will respond to that, the Tinubu on the ballot?
So when you say the North, let me take the core North, the Muslim North, right? Let me take like Katsina, Kano, Kaduna, Kebbi, Jigawa, Zamfara, that Kebbi, Sokoto, that axis. If that was to happen, I think people that say that may not understand the formula or the way politics is. You know, when you talk about politics, the sophistication of politics, the North and the North alone holds more of a key when it comes to the sophistication in politics. Of course, when you talk about education, we're looking at the South, West Coast, right? And you're talking about trade and maybe Southeast. But the North, that core North, when it comes to politics, honestly, their level of sophistication. Now, Seun, when you see every Megad, let's say the Malams, right? The one thing that you're going to see in his hand is a radio. Since I was small, I talked to you about me being a Fulani herdswoman. I come from a very rural area in Katsina State. All my family, all the people that I know that have never even been to school have a radio. They've never been to school, but they will tell you about the Russian Revolution. That BBC Hausa did what it was supposed to do. It will. My dad worked in BBC Hausa, so I really understood it from that level. When it comes to politics, that northern area really thrives on politics. That's the one thing that they feel they have a lot of control and power. So when you don't understand politics in the way they do, then you come at your own peril. So when you start making suppositions from the center, saying, let's change it from here and there, not understanding that these people, for them, politics is a way of life. They wait every 4 years to be able to line up. The man with his 4 wives and their 30 children, everybody's going to line up because that's where they know that they can have an impact in position in Nigeria. If you don't understand that and don't understand that for them is something of, it's almost like an identity.
So you think that if the APC toys with the idea of changing Shettima on the ticket, it might be risky?
I think so. I really do. I think if we toy with changing the construct of what we have now is a problem. If there's no northern, and I'm going to say it as it is, if there's no Hausa Fulani Kanuri Muslim on that ticket, it just creates it's a hurdle, and that's the reality of the way the people think, and that's what I'm telling you.
Are you concerned though? You see the gravity of and you see the manner in which a lot of the politicians and everywhere are moving towards the ADC. It's a tsunami of some sort, politically speaking. The gladiators are on one side, the ruling party is on this side, and their main agenda is get Bola Tinubu, send him back to Lagos. That is their agenda. Are you concerned about
which gladiators? I've not seen many gladiators.
Really? David Mark, Aregbe Shola, Rotimi Amechi, Peter Obi.
That's like 5-6 people.
Rufai.
So okay, but if you put it on a chart on APC as well, if those are gladiators, of course they are. And then at the same time, there are a lot of gladiators on APC side as well. So I don't think.
So, but I'm asking about how the ADC is growing to becoming a major political force. Does it worry you?
No, it doesn't. In fact, we're happy about this because we want a democracy. Nobody is happy about one party state. And more than anyone, the president wants democracy to thrive in Nigeria. So it's great that, ADC is sad to see that, that there's no opposition. So there has to be an opposition for our democracy to thrive. So it's good that there's an opposition.
Somebody said, beautiful nonsense. Hannatu Musawa is the daughter of one of the supposed Islamic scholars in northern part of Nigeria. Her father, who I believe helped spread their Sharia ideologies and all of that in that northern part of Nigeria. Okay, and I'm not like indicting him on that. Okay, but knowing what the northern part of Nigeria was and still is, right? Musawa sent his own daughter, Hannatu, to the UK. And she actually got married to the current, this man called Bua. I think he is the second or third richest man in Nigeria or something, I'm not sure. But Bua Sham, that Bua Cement and all that. So he was his ex-wife. So she's always very much within the circle of the political class, and she's a beneficiary. So she's not lying, talking about how for generations, the political class have built their own wealth on the ignorance, that the institutionalized ignorance in northern part of Nigeria. They will tell you why the northern Nigeria will decide who becomes what in Nigeria is because of the population. They will tell you how a poor man, a poor farmer, is married to 8 wives and he's got like 60 children. They will tell you about that. They will brag about it. They will say these are people who vote for people in Nigeria. And how do they vote? They vote according to how their clerics, the Islamic clerics, tell them to. So that ignorance has been exploited for decades. And one of the beneficiaries is Musawa, this Hannatu. He's a beneficiary. So, but the only thing they are not telling you is that for decades, from generation to generation, it keeps getting worse too, right? Including under Tinubu, all right? The political class in northern Nigeria don't give a hoot. They don't give a damn about these children, their life, their welfare, their education, healthcare, safety, their future. No, they don't care. They don't. But they will tell you that these people are very dedicated. They listen to Voice of America. They listen to Hausa, BBC Hausa. They listen to Kiniko Hausa. And what are they telling them in all those Hausa? And how much are they applying that to their daily life where it's been hardship, poverty, and terrorism all along? APC has brought nothing to northern Nigeria than terrorism. They've sustained it. They've built power on it. They've sustained power on it. And they believe they would continue to exploit that by telling you that, you see, you need to understand the sophistication of these people. What is sophisticated about people who don't give a damn about the criminals who put them in those horrible situations? But as long as they are Muslims, right? Well, they are fine. Where supposed educated Muslim clerics, Islamic clerics, will be boldly be telling their congregant, they will be telling them that one Muslim is very good, 2 Muslims is great. You know what I mean? Voting for an infidel is a sin, is haram. And they've built political capital based on this for decades. So they don't expect that to change. And that is why they will keep reminding you that how are they going to sell Obi in northern Nigeria? How are they going to tell them in the, the same Obi was actually somewhere in that same northern Nigeria 3 days ago. I had a clip of that.
He's saying we would never forget it. I want to assure you, without mixing with Your Excellency, that the appointed time when we need to do what we need to do because of this visitation you have paid us, we'll do the right thing. We'll mobilize our people in mass, just as you have seen them outside. Let me go politically, Your Excellency, without also mixing words. We have always longed to have you as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because you understand the plight of the common person. The people of Kubo, Your Excellency, 2020, 2023, during the last election, were in their mass to convert for your mandate. I want to assure you that all you need to do when the time comes is get the primary ticket for us. Once you get the primary ticket for us, Your Excellency, leave the grassroots for us. We'll do our best. We'll welcome you and God bless you, sir. Thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Community Austin. I'm the chairman of Kubo Timber Shed.
Peter Obi shugaban kosan gobe insha Allah. No be Hausa, no be Yoruba, no be Igbo. All Nigeria insha Allah.
Akare Peter Obi ne zamu zaba. Insha 2027. Sai Peter Obi, sai Josiah Buhari, sai Zaki Achere. Peter Obi ne zamu zaba 2027.
But it's actually going to be interesting if the opposition have managed to keep their cards to their chest so much, okay? So now let's go back to the sophisticated voters in northern Nigeria. The rumor that the Tinubu Shettima for 2027 may be changed to Tinubu Dogara 2027. So we now use this to appease the supposed Christian middle belt, the Christians in the northern Nigeria, and also to assure the northern Muslims that Tinubu is still very much with them. He is still supporting, like nothing is going to really change, but it is to change the international narrative that this Muslim ticket has brought about. And guess what? You know who is Dogara? Dogara is the former speaker of the House of Representatives of Nigeria. He's been walking like a wacko jacko. And that is why when Musawa took her time to explain the dynamism of their politics, as she tried to put it right, she's not, even she would have asked the question as well, right? It's not like asking a blank question, because there are signs. So Dogara, who is also from the northeast part of Nigeria, had this to say about Tinubu, is working enough like this one. Ego was past Shettima, and the way they believe in their own lumber and lies. 177 worshippers were taken from Kaduna, right, in Kajuru, and right now there is actually no national manhunt for them, for these people abducted, as we are speaking right now. So everybody pretended like this, all right. APC pretends that what is going on in Nigeria right now is not actually happening, okay? And even if they are happening, there is no alternative to Tinubu. So therefore, what are you going to do about it? So they said Tinubu was in Borno. And you know when Tinubu goes anywhere, you know what happens now? Like they have to move the battalions, the mountains, this and that, all of that, right? That is what this man is describing as the success in the northern part of Nigeria. Because they are penning him down for vice presidential slots. No kidding.
2027 is already taken for granted. I believe that should be the case, not only because of the principles of rotational presidency, but based on leadership, the reforms. If you had listened to my statement yesterday, the goodwill message I delivered, I talked about a community in the far-flung regions of the Northeast, in Mambila Plateau, where the president is building a road from Jembu to Mbanga, Yang, and Liop that will link Nigeria to the Cameroonian border. This was a road that was promised to these communities before the 1961 plebiscite, and it was never done. And it is only during this tenure of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that the contract is being awarded. The entire community gathered. We went there, and then I was received at the borders of the Cameroonian borders. So the entire community gathered. The paramount ruler of that community addressed me and said, well, in case you run into the president, please thank him and tell him that this was what we were promised before voting to join Nigeria, because those were the trust territories then. And then nothing was done, but he has done it. And he said, I assure you that as far as we are concerned, our 2027 election is already decided. And the joy I saw in the eyes of these people is something that a zillion words cannot describe. It's indescribable. This was a region that was dominated by treacherous terrain. It took you 6 hours from Gembuch, the headquarters of Sardauna local government, to the area we went to at the Cameroonian border. It's just 1 hour, 30 minutes. By the time the road is done, it's 45 minutes journey. So what brought all this thing about is leadership. If we look at the case of security, I made the point yesterday. I come from the northeast region of this country. I don't know whether you missed it. During the Christmas period, I traveled to Bauchi, of course, to receive the president when he came on a condolence call, and then made my way back to Abuja on the road. From Jos to Abuja, even with the security, the police, the army that were clearing the road for us, it took us almost 9 hours to get into Abuja. I have never seen this historic kind of traffic to the northeast. You know, Jos is the gateway to the northeast. And then you will ask yourself, why were people commuting to the northeast? For the very first time in about 15 years, I haven't seen that. It means that people are beginning to have faith in whatever the government is doing in terms of improvement of security. Hitherto, people were running from the northeast into the hinterland. But now you could see that during the holidays, people were moving back. So I said, even on the merits, we're not talking about rotational, we're not talking about, oh, it should be south. On the merits, I think a case can be made for President Tinubu to continue.
So was that a vote and a motion moved yesterday that was agreed upon?
Yes.
It was part of the agreement yesterday.
Yes.
But there are those who will say there are fundamental challenges confronting this nation. And there are those who argue that it should be left to the Nigerian people to decide, the voters, to decide whether the fate of President Bola Tinubu. Yes, members of your party can agree to give him the ticket, but yet the mandate of 2027 should be handed into the hands of Nigerians, not to you and your colleagues in that room, to decide whether or not President Bola Tinubu should have a smooth ride. The judgment of whether he has performed well based on the promises made will be in the hands of the voters who will judge at the polls.
Well, Sean, I agree with you. I'm on all fours with you on this matter. Assuming we are not part of the voters, 2027 is already taken for granted. I believe that should be the case.
So, Dogara, giving his own personal testimony of how people have already concluded that, what if Tinubu has done for them? Even when the record showed that more Nigerians have actually been killed in the last 2.5 years of Tinubu than those killed in the 8 years of Buhari. Shocking. Yeah. And that is how bad it is. But this is going to be election year, where politicians are going to be boldly telling lies enough that they believe the same victims, the victims of all this terrorism and insecurity, maybe not, they will never see the videos. I don't know. But that's Dogara. And he also went on, by the way, because Seun asked him, let me see if I can put out. Seun asked him about the rumor that is being kind of like prepared to take over from or to replace Man. Okay, and then he responded that not really. But before I come back to that, right? While we wait for it, give me a sec. While we wait, so Dogara used to be the former Speaker of the House of Representatives in Nigeria. He himself like others before him and even those after him, was very much fingered in several kind of corruption, but he never really went to trial by any means to get his own day in court, say. And when it was around the time they were almost hunting him, he quickly joined APC, just like others too. Then when this theme of who they thought could be used, okay, to change the supposed minds of the people of the Middle Belt or the Christians in the northeast part of Nigeria, they nominated him. Tinubu nominated him. In fact, he actually brought him back to be used for a time like this. And people started suspecting that this talk of replacing Shettima, right? Maybe he's actually the one they are preparing. Okay? Something that others are quite really like uncertain about. But here is what he said when she asked him before we go to something else.
Saying the victimization of the Christian communities in this country and the argument, the backdrop of the choice of President Bola Tinubu of a Muslim running mate. And going into 2027, there those who are saying that already the conversation they have started in the APC as to how to balance things out to not annoy the Trump presidency in America and to seem to give some kind of balance to the equation that could have also angered a lot of people who think there is no balance in the ticket of Bola Tinubu. And your name has come up. That you could be the running mate to President Bola Tinubu in 2027. How does that come to you?
Well, I think, Show, I would have sincerely pleaded with you to leave me out of this. But perhaps let me say something. I think whatever we're doing shouldn't be because we're afraid of anybody breathing down our necks. It should be because it is the right thing to be done. We're talking about running an inclusive government. We're talking about bringing everybody in this country together so that we'll be able to build a nation that works for all of us. So if that is the case, if we're having a discussion about rotational presidency, there's nothing stopping us from having that discussion as well. Because you see, the truth is that when you're not talking about just northern Christians, you're talking about the Christian faith as a whole. So if you have a Muslim, whether he comes from the north or from the south, let it be that he's representing the Muslim community. And if you have a Christian, wherever he comes from, he covers for the Christian faith. So that gives you the religious balance that we're talking about. But honestly, if we're going to do anything along those lines, it shouldn't be that we are scared, but because as men of it, we believe that God requires of us to do justice, and justice demands that we should balance things. I think that should be our concern.
So APC should consider a Christian running mate in 2027?
It's a discussion, and I'm aware that that discussion is taking place now. So at the end of the day, whatever the president decides, ultimately, nobody who is a serving president has ever lost primaries. So we assume that the president definitely will get the ticket of the party. Ultimately, whatever decisions that he takes, I believe that it is up to him. But if we have overwhelming majority of our people making a case that these things should be balanced, as a Democrat, I sincerely believe that he will listen to it, and particularly for us Northerners like me and you. I've always insisted that anybody who divides the North along religious lines has actually conquered the North. Come from a family, one of my uncles was even a sheikh. He died in Saudi Arabia. How do you expect me to discriminate against him just because he's a Muslim? And so many communities, so many families, in the North, in my own part of the North, are like that. So I want to see a situation just like as you raise one issue, my journey to becoming a speaker. I want to see that episode being replayed consistently, so that when anything concerns a Muslim, I don't look at him as a Muslim. I should be able to fight for him, that this is a collective progress as Northerners and as Nigerians. And when Christians on the other side see Muslim brothers defending the rights and privileges of the Christians as if it was
go to Renshi. You all heard him, right? So he's already confirmed it, that it is true. That, yeah, that conversation is kind of like taking place. So yeah, that's all we needed to hear. That is to say, it's completely up to Tinubu. If they insist that their strategy of Muslim is still their strategy, keeps him and stays. But if they are indeed under pressure from among what they said the American team actually told Kalu, but not Kalu directly. What they told Ribadu was that when Ribadu got to Washington, one of the things they asked him was that is Nigeria Islamic country? And Ribadu said no, Nigeria is a secular country. The next question they said the American Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, except, right? True story, they said when Ribadu got to Washington, after that redesignation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, all right? So Tinubu sent them as delegation to go and speak to Trump's team and tell them the true story, the situation of things, so there is no Christian genocide, blah, blah, blah. But the first question they said the American Secretary of War asked them was that is Nigeria an Islamic country? And Ribadu replied that no, Nigeria is not an Islamic country. Right. So then how come you have the Muslim president and vice president in that country? Then Ribadu started kind of trying to explain it. Here you get. But most of what they tried to explain there didn't really stick. And part of that, the impression they were advised to go work on if they want to look good in Donald Trump's book. Something that ordinarily, right, could just be passive, right, until Dogara just confirmed that, yeah, truly, there is conversation around it. There is a massive majority of their people, the Christians in northern Nigeria, who are thinking that this thing should be balanced. And they went on to go and add other gibberish to it that's mostly irrelevant. Because the Muslims in northern Nigeria are also watching the interview, right? They're going to be like, well, if anybody wants to conquer the north, they will try and use religion, this religion, that. What are you talking about? So, Dogara. Meanwhile, from that same northern Nigeria, at the Daily Trust, what do you call it, communique or something, right? Where they had their summit. Ugaje, a man who was once part and parcel of those who pushed for this APC, Ebekegbe at the time, and now is like an elder statesman, so to say. So they had this to say about the Emelokon, which is Tinubu's mantra. Emelokon. Emelokon is actually a nonsense, according to Bugaje. It's a nonsense if Emelokon couldn't really provide stable economy, jobs, security, and what have you. Rather, just the establishment or establishment of terrorism in a grand scale. So let's go listen to what Bugaji had to say, talking about Awonlokon.
Thank you very much. Very distinguished excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I think it's a very important occasion, not only for the celebration of the birthday, but I can see here a collection of Nigeria itself. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm so happy that we are all here. I hope before we leave, we can have a consensus of how to fix our country. I will go straight to the problem. The problem, we all are agreed that democracy is receding. Democracy is not delivering. And therefore, if we go at this rate, on this trajectory, democracy is not sustainable. Therefore, what exactly are the problems? I think the major problem is that first, the political parties, which are the foundation of democracy, they have no content, they have no conscience, and they have no courage. You look, just take any party. What does it convey to you? Where is the big idea? What is that thing that this party represents in terms of the future of this country? You have a collection of big men in parties, but you can't find the big idea. So what is the big idea? What is it that really, because countries that have developed, you have mentioned a few of them, South Korea in the 60s was the second poorest country in the world. Within just 3 decades, it was on the cutting edge of technology because it has developed a big idea that it was pursuing. The same with Japan, the same with Singapore, the same with every country that has made development. Where is that big idea? We have parties, we have big men, but we don't have big idea. And these parties, like I said, they have no content, they have no conscience, they have no courage. The second thing is that the the popular will, which is expressed in electoral processes, has been subverted. It is like INEC is precisely there to rig elections rather than to conduct elections. And therefore, if we cannot conduct elections, you might as well forget about democracy. Because people cannot continue to be fooled. We know what happens. Last election, people were waiting for INEC to address the issues raised. What happened? In the middle of the night, there was an announcement of a result. The country was asleep. And people just disappeared. Do we want to go and repeat the same thing again? So the popular will has to be asserted. It has to be respected. If we are not, then we are not going to have a democracy. The third and very important point, moderator, is the social contract. This, democracy is sustained by a social contract. We are, as citizens, we agree to be law-abiding, we agree to listen to government, we agree to do everything to pay our taxes, precisely because the government has undertaken to provide for our security and for our welfare. And this is very clear in our constitution. Ask yourself today, where is the security? Where is the welfare? Poverty has more than doubled. Insecurity has gone to to levels unprecedented and in fact inconceivable 25 years ago. We have nothing to say that we have gained from democracy. So on what basis should we have government? If we as citizens have obeyed the laws, have paid our taxes, and government cannot protect us, what is the reason for why government is there? Because it has lost. Now, what are the solutions? Very quickly. I think we have to first find a big idea. And this is tied to the issue that have been raised of elite consensus. This is the elite of the country. What is our consensus? Where do we want our country to be in 25 years? And what do we need to do to get it there? There is no consensus. Everybody wants his own tribesman, to be president, which is the most stupid idea that I find in the 21st century. Because it's like elites taking turns to destroy their own country. If you ask yourself, the current regime, what is the consensus? It's just talking about my chance, my opportunity. I don't know if my turn, right? So we are taking turns to destroy our country. So the most important step, I think, is to have a consensus. Where do we want this country to be? The second, I think, is to make sure that we have developed metric for measuring. Thank you very much. Very distinguished. Excellent.
I don't want to sit here and reveal all my strategy. I am the first speaker among the three of us running. So they will spy on me. So you will have a limited answer here today. Another day you can bring me back. But that's part of what I do.
Right.
Who did this thing to us? May God forgive all of us.
Right, right.
Who did this thing to us? May God forgive all of us.
Right, right.
Amen. So Bugaje, speaking straight to the supposed elite of Nigeria, and he's not wrong. When you look at Nigeria, we call it turn by turn Nigeria Limited. Wait for your turn. They will tell you to wait for your turn. When it gets to your own turn, you can fix Nigeria. Until then, this is their own turn. This is their own time. They will do Nigeria the way they think is the best or the right. Turn by turn Nigeria Limited. It's like the elite of Nigeria, they are taking turn to destroy their own country. He didn't lie. And among many other things he said there, right? So I want him to finish, and I can give my own proviso. Bugaje, please continue. Politics without ideology, no big idea, no plan on where Nigeria is to be in the next 20 years, in the next 50 years. Everybody is just taking their turn to pillage the country. So what is the essence of government? Where you pay your taxes, you are supposed to have given them your sovereignty, for them to protect you, for them to provide for you, in the sense that as governments, they are also expected of some responsibilities. But you are excusing all of their failures in that sense, right? So what is the essence of government? What is the essence of democracy when people can't even vote? INEC is just there to certify the crooks. That's what they are there for. There's nothing like a popular vote, people's mandates in that sense. Rigged.
Governance. One of the ministers in this government once said that one of their achievements that they are giving a lot of money to governors, far more money than they ever had. I thought that was a stupid idea. Because first you have to value the currency, so that money doesn't mean anything. Secondly, the distribution formula is not your own, your own action. It's something that has already been decided. So where is the work that you have done? So they are getting away with these things because we have no agreed metrics to measure governance. Members of the National Assembly, I'm happy a lot of you are here, are doing things that are not really your job. Buying wheelbarrows and building these and this kind of thing, empowerment, is the job of the executive. Your own is to stay and do good legislation for the good governance of this country. You have abandoned this. Look at what is happening in the country. We have kept quiet. We are all here. Why are you silent? Americans are coming. Where is the agreement? What has happened to us? Where are you? Are you sleeping? What is happening?
Okay.
The next most important thing, Khalid, if you please, is criteria for leadership. At the moment, this country has no criteria for leadership. And what happens if you don't have criteria for leadership? Crooks and criminals will find their way. So we have to have the criteria that is in the Constitution is not criteria for, it's a criteria for eligibility. We have to develop a criteria for suitability. We cannot confuse eligibility with suitability. We have to. If the Constitution has not done so, the political parties will have to determine that anybody seeking to be president or seeking to be governor or seeking to be chairman of local government in our party must meet A, B, C, D requirements. Requirements of character, requirements of competence, requirements of courage. That courage of conviction that allows you to do the right thing when you know this is the right thing. Not to bother about any other thing. Last thing, this country, and I think my friend Pat Otomi, Professor Patotomi made this point, and this is the last point I'm closing with. You see, in the next 25 years, this country is going to be over 400 million. And this country is going to be the third largest country in the world in terms of population, if you look at United Nations projection, right? In the next 25 years, there is going to be a world water crisis. Africa will be the only continent with sufficient fresh water to feed itself and to feed the rest of the world. If you look at the scramble for rare earth metals, you know, there is a lot we need more than ever before. The kind of government that can really stand its ground, that can really lead not only Nigeria but Africa. Africa is waiting for Nigeria to provide leadership. You all know what Nelson Mandela said. So with this thing coming, the conversation around our politics should be, how do you feed this growing population? How do you house them? How do you provide education? How do you provide health care? How do you provide for this growing population? The conversation I find among politicians is which tribe is going to take its stand, which part of the country is going to, who are we going to... This is the kind of thing that is destroying democracy. We have to wake up to the reality. We have to realize that in the 21st century, knowledge is the greatest capital. Thank you very much. Governance.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people who are proving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to make our own life.
Absolutely, Professor. So the man made very good and salient point that we shouldn't let lost on other things you probably felt towards what he said. Nigeria, if it remained a country in the next 25 years, is projected to have over, or to have their population to have been over 400 million. And this is 2026. Right? Where Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. No thanks to APC. Nigeria, among the most terrorized people in the world. No thanks to APC. Also Nigeria, where the level of illiteracy has fallen so drastically in the last 10 years because of APC. We have more out-of-school children that if you put them together, over 22 million out-of-school children in Nigeria. That is more than some countries. If you combine like about 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 countries together, before that population of out-of-school children in Nigeria will populate, and there will still be more extra to be sent to another countries. Yeah, in the last 10 years. So what is that future that these guys, in your own opinion, that you think in the next 25 years, Nigeria would have food sufficiency, Nigeria will have access to drinking water, fresh water, Nigeria will have access to, will be safe, Nigerians would have access to 24 hours electricity. Maitama in Abuja is considered as the eyebrow area in Abuja, where the rich have all their properties. Maitama at night, just yesterday.
Can you see, I'm in Maitama district of Abuja. I'm making it large so you can see. And look at Maitama, very dark. Ajia, you can talk. Look at Maitama now. And
it's been like this for years.
No street lights.
It's been here for like
Can you see it? See, and I showed you video of Morocco. Oh yeah, look at it compared to and
see our major.
See our major. Can you see? Oh, one car don't pass. See our major roundabout.
Some lights, some street lights are working. Some is not working. They don't care.
They don't care. Hey, Ajia.
They don't care.
Madam Kanu. Hey, can you see?
See this way to Ghana Street. Ghana Farmers Market is dark.
It's dark.
Market up to Agulu.
And this is New Yorker. Can you see New Yorker? No street lights.
No anything.
No nothing. Oh, Ajia, are you crying? Don't cry. Don't cry.
So we don't know what next happens.
So how we talk about that? That means we don't know what next.
Can
you see? I did a video of Morocco, African country. Lagos is richer than it. But look at our own country. So our own country. Yeah. So this is Metama now. There is a small light. You can see light. But when we get to some area, you go see darkness. Are you watching it?
Darkness is more than
look.
Light.
This is the heart of the city.
The heart of the city is the heart of
Metama. Everywhere dark, but there are small lights.
All the street lights.
Even in Asokoro.
It's not working. Yes.
See the solar, they are looking like candle. Hey! Solar don't turn to candle light.
Light, so it's a park, it's a garden or restaurant. So that's
now
daylight.
When we move forward, we will be now entering Ministers Hill, where your ministers, your senators, your cream de la cream, see where they stay. Houses there are like $2 million, $3 million, but there is no value. So we return to we turn to now what's the name? Now Street now. See, it is permanently dark. Can you see the darkness? You see faded light. Maybe you are looking at my own light.
My God. See us too, yeah, Allah.
What's going on in front? You don't know what's going on in the front.
Because it's too dark. So
it's too dark.
Just go back.
That's security light. That's police, yeah.
You just police. We don't have police car.
Like it's Mercedes.
We don't have police car that is this clean.
No, just hold on.
Go in. And look at the cars they are from. What are they doing? Coca. To duty yella la provisory. Coca.
Abuja, everybody is scared.
This is where all the ministers stay.
We don't have security. We are always scared.
No safety. See there. The car no get plate number. Everybody is scared. And you know the retired people that live on this street. So look at this street now.
It's a restaurant or garden.
Even if I off my light, it's so dark. Hey, let me off my light. Oh, I don't off my light. I don't. Hey, what a nation.
God help us.
And Morocco, so nice. Oh! Oh, do me, oh, they pay me. How can Africa be, how can Nigeria, the giant of Africa, be like this? Total neglect.
Neglect, man.
Total, now there is no more opposition. So it's status quo, Ah! How can we say this is the most expensive area in Abuja out of Metama? But their light is so faint. Thank God they have a full light. What a nation. Anyway.
That transmission line is a super highway. For generated electricity and power. They could not even make a down payment for a roasted corn. The farmer will make more money Your lunch will not be imported. Cassava gari, yeah. The farmers will make money. The dinner will be cassava by a while.
Turn the so-called Yahoo boys to experts in manufacturing and creation of chips that intercept an organ.
If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the net get bigger and we'll take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the
But that is not what Ladoja thinks. The Olubadan of Ibadan, former governor of Oyo State, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, Olubadan of Ibadan now, he was with the Kolu yesterday, and after the meeting, he has this to say, that Kolu is planning your future. You shouldn't worry. Just give him time.
On the 26th of September. I've been trying to come and thank him for finding time to come. So this is an opportunity for me because I came for the Daily Trust dialogue. So it's an opportunity for me to come and thank him and to tell him that we are very happy with what is happening in the country.
That's great, Kabiyesi. But high up there, you've been sitting, observing what has been going on in the country. What has been your observation of his style of governance?
No, if you know from where he's coming, if you know that he knows what he's doing, that is what is most important. He was coming, he was able to get Lagos from where it was to where he left it. So I'm sure that the situation in Nigeria might not have been as even bad as it was. The problem is that the Nigeria is more complex than the state because of the fact that not all of us have the same notion about what we want in Nigeria. So, but nonetheless, the states have more money than we had when we were governors, and they are able to meet their commitments than what we had when we were governors. So I believe that by and large, the economy has to be fixed, and it's being fixed. We will hope that by the time it's leaving 2031, we will have put Nigeria where all of us will be proud of.
Okay, Kabi, is there any advice regarding what people are still expecting from him? What do you advise him to do?
Well, we expect the president to work more on we expect the government to work more on the situation of the food. We expect them to look at the situation of health. We should have standard hospitals where we can treat our people. But the major problem we really now have is the problem of insecurity. Farmers find it difficult to go to their farms. And it is already coming to the south also. So everybody is apprehensive of going to the farm. Everybody is apprehensive of going about their daily business. I don't think it is insurmountable, but by and large, we believe that the president is tackling it correctly now.
Okay,
the close of that interview, he said people can't go back, farmers can't go to their farms. The situation is really, really coming to the south. The way he said he's coming to the south now. No, it's already in the south. It's not coming. It's already in the south. So how is that then something that will give you the impression that Nigeria is going somewhere that we are going to be, all of us are going to be proud, when rather than go after the terrorists and their sponsor, Tinubu is doing everything to placate them. He's planning to build them ranches. He's allocated money to some states to start building ranches for the Fulani terrorists. People will not even get cows anymore, but bikes and weapons. But he's doing fine. You know, the states are getting more money now, and they are committing more to their wherever. I'm not expecting to see otherwise, because that's probably who they are anyway. But another problem that the APC, Egbekegbe, have done so well to, or they are doing so much to manage to suppress, is this issue of forged tax law. So they are doing everything to suppress the voices of the real people who are meant to speak. And so far, so good. They are not keeping short. And one of them even said, what you are witnessing in Nigeria right now is called the executive rascality. In brief, even Solomon Kende Ibadan. This one first.
No, when I mean it's not conclusive, in parliamentary practice, you are given 7 days or 14 days to do a report. And we are asked to do this within 7 days. So in 7 days, if it is not enough for you, you do an interim report to the body that sets you up, justifying why you should be given further time to do a more detailed work. So what we have done so far is to identify that, yes, these issues exist, but there is the need to find out who did what, whether individuals or corporate entities.
Okay, that's the stage where you are now, to identify those behind these alterations and discrepancies. But based on your findings so far, and being a House member, what would you say could have led to this discrepancy in the first place?
Well, you can easily point to overzealousness by some officials on the executive side, which in summary you can tag executive rascality, if you permit my language. Because a lot of times people think that when you bring executive bills, the bills should return to you as was sent. Then we will just simply be I don't want to use rubber stamp, but it cannot be garbage in, garbage out, and that is why 360 of us sit in that assembly, and there are processes to lawmaking: first reading, second reading.
To Tinubu, that is just formalities. What is meant to be done is not done within the chamber of the House of Assembly when he was governor. So they were done in his bedroom, and in this case as well, inside the asshole rock. And those who are supposed to scrutinize that, right? Akpabiole, no, he's currently enjoying the mass decampment or whatever that is currently taking place in the state. But we'll come to that. Solomon Kende Ibadan took a jab at him as well. Like, it was at an event where Oshibade, the Kenneth Shatabandu, Oshibaju. Okay, for those of you who just recently joined us, all right? So that's the man we call the Oshibade, the Kenneth Shatabandu, right? So they were at the same event where Solomon Kende Ibadan was telling Oshibade that they actually missed in. That Nigeria they left 2.5 years ago is no longer the same Nigeria now. Okay? That things have actually gone worse, become worse. And now they have a new tax law, which, according to him, he is not even sure which of the tax law the Tinubu's government is going to implement this year, or they have started implementing, the forged one or the signed one, an event.
Sir, I personally, I miss you in that position. A lot of people may not know why. Things are not really the same. Again, it's not a political talk because I'm not on that podium. I remember I was barely 7 months into the position of the governor of Oyo State. And that was my very first public service job. And we had a crisis in the country. This was February 2020. There was COVID. And we came in for the National Economic Council meeting. It was a hot meeting. The chairman of the council came in, and a few of my colleagues, I wasn't sure whether they held a meeting before that meeting, but they came in and said, look, we should all go back and lock down our states. So for your state people, why I did not lock down during COVID was because of his decision. But we had the same situation in this dispensation. It was the tax bill. And we said, look, bring the tax bill, bring it back. Let us all have an opportunity to look dispassionately at it. But you cannot speak truth to power in this dispensation. We said the tax bill will go ahead. It's an affront for even the governors to be saying what the presidency has done to send the tax bill to the National Assembly. They should bring it back. It won't happen. And we know where we are right now. The tax bill, we don't know what was passed at the National Assembly. We don't also know what was signed off. So when I say I miss you so much, sir. Sir.
Àmọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ gbé kalẹ̀ yìí ó dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹni tí ọpọlọ rẹ̀ yòrò tàbí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run fi síbi aláṣà àwọn ọpọlọ rẹ̀ bí ọpọlọ ikú ó jọ má bẹ́ẹ̀ tọpọlọ rẹ̀ ò tó nǹkan rárá tàbí ètò wà ń bẹ kó má tiẹ̀ wúlò má rárá.
So that's Solomakinde Ibadan. At the point I was like, what's he talking about? Oh, okay, yeah, that's what it's. Meanwhile, it was with a call 2 days ago, I think. So in Ibadan, they call him the Agodi Emperor. There are some people who call him Agodi Emperor, especially those people they grabbed their land in the name of road construction as well. Okay, so they call him Agodi Emperor. And the former emperor, who happened to be the Ajimobi of Ibadan, the former Oyo governor, remember him, he's dead now, by the way, so he died during the COVID, unfortunately, or unfortunately. So he was accused of stealing the land that belongs to the people of Oyo State. That was the Ajimobi of Oyo. But his wife, Lawrence Aji, what is his name again? Oh my God. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's call him Ajimobi of Oyo anyway. Ajimobi of Oyo. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about? Ajimobi, that's his name. His name is Ajimobi. I call him Ajimobi. So he stole the land that belonged to the people and gave it to himself. So when he died, before he died, Solo Makinde has become the governor by then, right? So Makinde wanted the land back. Then he died. That is the former governor. So his wife is believed, she's believed to be the witch as well. So he decided to go and bury her husband on this state government's land and all that until Makinde eventually took the land from them. So the rest is history. Right now, the wife of Ajimobi, Florence, has been confirmed as an ambassador. So he's an ambassador designate right now. Tinubu is just here to post them to wherever they want to go to. So according to her, now that they have the control of the federal government, Oyo State 2027 is war. It is going to be war. Initially, she denied this video, by the way. Then we'll grab the full clip after.
We're going to war in 2027. That's what I tell you. It's going to be war. Head-on war. PDP must go. Whatever they want to do, whatever they want to try, whatever tricks, all powers belong to God. But we're going to beg God. And we're going to fight them. Whatever they have in the state, we have at the federal level. We have money. They have money in the state. We have money in the federal level. We have all the support we need. We're not going to be intimidated. So let them get ready for it.
They are going to war in 2027. I don't know if our children and our grandchildren are also going to be, strapped to also go to that war. He's Tinubu's ambassador. He's yet to be posted to any country as Nigeria's ambassador. That is Nigeria's ambassador to any country that Tinubu posts out to. And if Tinubu loses power in 2027, some of them may not even get posted anywhere. They will remain ambassador designated, So, because if they send her away, how is she going to fight the war? But don't be kind of like don't be mistaken, okay? She knows what she's talking about. The other one that they want to use as the candidate of the APC to replace Solo Makinde Ibadan is the Benkelemesi, the son of Benkelemesi, the Minister of Darkness in Nigeria. Well, that one that told you that it was going to generate more than 40,000 megawatts of electricity through solar panel. Well, they are now talking about bringing you what they call the meters, free meters. Tinubu is bringing you free meters, electricity meters. So, and you won't pay anything. It is renewed hope agenda for your state.
I'm quite excited and elated with this because it's quite unprecedented. This is the first time in the history of this country when a government will be importing and buying locally this amount of meters to ensure that the power sector is completely transformed. This is like walking the talk. Our target reform in the sector is not just verbal, we are actioning it. And Nigerians could see that this is real and it's not just a promise of the tongue. And one thing I also want to mention before I stop here is to say that it is also unprecedented that these meters have to be installed and distributed to consumers free of charge. Free of charge. Nobody should collect money from any consumer. It is an illegality, it is an offense for the officials of distribution companies across Nigeria to request for a dime before installation. Even the indirect installers cannot ask consumers for a dime. It has to be installed free. I'm quite.
Do you believe in? If you believe in PC, now you be say you can win a jumbo jet through the scratch and win. You know, you just walk into a place and just buy a scratch and win, and you are going to win a brand new jumbo jets. Boeing 747 and B777. If you believe that nonsense, right? Well, people are not. I don't think people will mind paying. I've had people lament and complain about them not being provided electricity meters. So election is coming. You're going to get electricity meters. Or what are you going to use the meters for? To measure the, is that to read your generator's electricity or what? You know, these guys have not added a single megawatt to the Nigeria's national grid in the last 2.5 years. Baba, that is even being generous. In the last 10.5 years, APC, they've added 0 megawatt of electricity to Nigeria national electricity grid in 10.5 years. Unbelievable, right? But it's true. When these guys came into power, right, Nigeria was generating, on record though, Nigeria was generating about 8,000 megawatt of electricity. Yeah, 8,000. Can you believe that? The giant of Africa. So 8,000 megawatt of electricity before APC in 2015. Today, Nigeria is barely generating 5,000 megawatt of electricity. Okay, but they have all of their moguls that are always going to jump on your comment on this on social media to tell you that they have been enjoying electricity for the past. They now have 22 hours a day. We have been having electricity for the past 8 months, for the past 10 months. I that one, Tinubu is doing well. But you saw the video of Fayoshe's brother Isaac earlier, right? That was Maitama in Abuja, posh areas where you have your lawmakers and the rest of them, right? But yeah, election is coming. They're going to bring out this stuff, right? And the Gulligos are always going to use them in validating, you know. So 2 days ago, after the Kano State governor left Wakwansop and then turned the state to APC, Wakwansop received his supporters from all over the place, right? Who came to show him what they call the solidarity. Then he decided to name that day the 23rd of January 2026, and every 23rd of January as the betrayer day in the world. And his own supporters who came to show him solidarity actually, like, I think they loved it. First, they are gathering.
Are you still the governor of Rivers State?
Na ga maganganu iri-iri a kan maganar kocin amana ko butulci da sauran abubuwa iri-iri a cikin waya social media. Babu wanda ya dauki hankali na kamar wani wanda ya posting yake cewa a yi declaring 23 ga watan biyu na kowace shekara a matsayin butulci na duniya ga baki saboda haka a matsayina na shugaba na wannan tafiya jagora wasu masu ce ba dubu nake cewa ina goyon bayan wannan ya tsayar da wannan rana 24 ga watan ɗaya mutunci ta duniya da baki daya wadda duk wanda rana ta zo za mu yi tsare-tsare ne bukunkuna na wannan rana domin waɗanda abin ya shafa da kuma waɗanda ma ba mamaki nan gaba su yi abin da yake mutunci ya kamata duniya ta san su da baki daya.
I know that's what he said, the last part of the video, that it will be remembered that every 23rd of January will be remembered as the Betrayers' Day. But for Abba, it's like it's moving very fast. 44 local government chairmen, right, who have all pledged their allegiance to him, right, have all started the preparation of joining APC, Egbekegbe, officially on Monday, tomorrow. Anyway, if you're watching the replay, it's not going to be tomorrow. It's just going to be like I've already happened, So the 44 local government chairmen.
Cire ko janye rajistar mu daga cikin jam'iyyar NNPP ta jihar Kano. A wannan rana muna sake tabbatar da goyon bayan mu ga mai girma zaɓaɓɓen gwamnan jihar Kano. Haka ne
And on the other side too, the governor gave hundreds of motorcycles, bikes to the social media influencers in Kano to go out and explain to people why, they did what they did. And of course, it was there to motivate these social media influencers who are going to benefit from this, that I'm just like you, by opening the back of the bikes, which have already been shared by the time you're watching this video. Anyway, so these bikes are meant to be distributed to the influencers who are expected to begin to change the narrative however they want it to go. But on River State issue, another group of protesters have led themselves to the National Assembly, where they are now calling on the National Assembly to please take over the River State House of Assembly, because these guys who are there right now are not interested in the progress of their states, and they are only there to do the bidding of one man with a wicked. Their attempt to remove Fubara can lead to a lot of the breakdown of law and order in their states. So they are calling on Akwabiole and others to take over the River State House of Assembly's business and tell Martin Amawile and others to probably go home. Their demand, by the way.
The River State House of Assembly has lost credibility, legitimacy, and the confidence of the people. A legislature that weaponizes impeachment and disregards judicial authority cannot continue to exercise legislative powers. We therefore call on the National Assembly to immediately invoke Section 2, subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which empowers it to take over the legislative functions of a State House of Assembly where prevailing circumstances make it unable to function. The situation in Rivers State clearly meets these requirements. The National Assembly has acted against peace, order, and democratic stability, exposing the state to deepening constitutional crisis. The National Assembly is constitutionally empowered and duty-bound to intervene, assume legislative functions, and restore democratic order. This rally is a call to conscience and constitutional responsibility. The National Assembly must not watch passively while democracy is undermined. Civil society, the media, and Nigerians of goodwill must stand united against legislative anarchy. We call on Nigerians to come out peacefully, occupy the APC Secretariat, and maintain civic presence around the National Assembly until decisive action is taken. We remain resolute. This is a non-stop rally. Our demand is lawful and clear. Democracy must be defended. Rivers State must not be sacrificed to political desperation. Long live Rivers State, long live Nigeria. Thank you.
We are a poor nation. The bank coal will follow. They say firewood not fall. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, try shining, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They'll do it.
They'll do it. That's Kolu. So you will tell them that if they don't do something about with a wiki, it's crazy, right? Tinubu is actually the king of memes. I remember when I used to collect Tinubu's meme. Like I've got loads. If you check my screen from that side, you see all these things, right? Half of this list is like Tinubu's memes. Enough that you can sit down there for the next 20 minutes and it's just going to be Tinubu's memes and memes here and there. He's got so many. I deleted a lot of them. So the election is coming now again. Hopefully we'll have a handful of that to replace these old ones when that time comes, call you. So these guys want the National Assembly to do something, but the National Assembly will not do anything because this whole thing is more or less like a script, The guy who claimed to be the leader of the Joy Youth Council, who I believe is on the side of Fubara, was also on a rise yesterday, talking about how the wicked doesn't really want peace to reign and Fubara has done the blah, the usual talk, right?
Basically, the Ijaw Youth Council have taken series of steps, including stakeholders, elders from those particular constituencies to see how they can interface with these lawmakers in question. But the truth of the matter is that, there has been a Nigerian system or a moving pattern in the Nigerian democracy that assembly members or legislators are now contractors or they are businessmen, where they approach the governor outside their constituency project to be given allocations of the state treasury where they can live flamboyant life. But today we have a very prudent and people-oriented governor, and he's telling them that, look, if it is the reverse treasury that you want, I can't give it to you. But if it is true good governance that you want both parties, the legislative and the executive, to give to Rivers people, then we can work together. So that is where the bone of contention lies. They want the Rivers Treasury to be open for them so that they can dive their hand to take whatever that they want to take, as others, assembly members in other administration has been doing. But today we have a prudent governor, and who have said that no, these funds in question are for Rivers people and is meant for infrastructural development, human capital development, and good governance. So that is where the problem lies. So some of them has definitely rebuffed the peace arrangement stakeholders, and even the IYC have tried to initiate. They are bent on that the governor is too tight, is too stingy. The governor doesn't want them as assembly members to benefit from the Rivers Treasury. So that is where we are having. I'm with you.
If that is because they want money so that they can live forever, like, can you show us the proof? Because one of the lawyers that, came to speak here, representing obviously, some interest in the state, was saying that that's not part of the impeachment notice. So can you show us the proof that that's what actually the lawmakers want? And I mean empirical proof. And that is what is causing the problem, that it is because the lawmakers want the governor to bring the money so that they can share. Because, like the lawyer said that day, that's not part of the impeachment notice. And do you have the impeachment notice with you, the grounds that they put there? That's number one. Number two, you said something. I just need empirical facts this morning. You said something. You said the generality of people in Rivers State want the fact that the National Assembly should, the State House of Assembly should work with the governor. Do you have empirical proof to back up your assertion? Do you have a survey, or do you have anything of that nature? But give us the proof that you have that is because of the money the lawmakers want to collect. That's why they are causing all of this rancor. The proof.
Rufai, thank you very much. There is nothing hidden. The empirical fact that you are looking for, even the speaker himself, in one of his statements before they went on a recession in the Rivers State House of Assembly, made it categorically clear that in the midst of the state of emergency that was declared in Rivers State, that they approached the governor, that the budget itself that was passed by the National Assembly does not contain their interests, that they want a supplementary budget where their interest is going to be captured. And those are the areas that they were trying to see how they can put in projects that will be influential to them, fake ghost projects that they can put into the governor as a supplementary budget, so that when that budget is passed, the money will pass through the back door and get to them. But the governor made it categorically clear that the budget for 2025 that was passed by the National Assembly is okay for him to run the affairs of Rivers State for 2025 calendar year. That is a very clear and bold empirical fact. And when the IYC and the INC and the Rivers State stakeholders that were set up, including the PANDEF, to interface with this person, they made it categorically also clear. Empirical fact, if you talk about it, unless you want video evidence, maybe in my next comment I can come with them. Made it approach them, and they said that the governor doesn't want them to survive by not giving them project, contract in Rivers State, that the treasury of the Rivers State belongs to everybody. That why is the governor trying to do as if they are not part of Rivers people? that in all the previous administration, legislators have always been given contracts outside constituency projects that they can also use to feed their family and live flamboyant lives.
All of this,
these things are on record.
All of this you are saying is on record, right? It's on record. You have evidence of it. It's on record.
Why not? I never believe that you will ask for evidence. Maybe in my next comment, I can come with them and you can play it out. There are engagements and series of engagements. Everywhere.
There's also this talk of 350 million collected. Can you shed more light on 350 million talk?
The 350 million, the assembly members, the legislators, they are not denying. The sole administrator that was in the emergency period gave them 350 million each as constituency projects and a new tier rubber Prado Jeep. So they want additional funds, and that is what we are saying. If you ask them today, 4 months after the emergency, this money was given to them. If any of them have completed their constituency project, that the 350 million naira in question is allocated for. And now they are talking about gross misconduct from the state governor for misappropriation of funds as their impeachment points. But this is the same 350 million naira that was given to them as constituency project, the Prado Jeep that was bought for them over 170 million naira as personal gift was also captured in the 2025 budget. But they didn't see that as an aberration or error because it favors them. But when the governor said that Rivers money are for Rivers people, let us use it to expand the developmental agenda of Rivers State, they are uncomfortable because they believe that the money is Rivers money.
The last time Darlington Oji came here, he said it was, what's it called?
The more you look, the less you see. 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 The more you look.
So some people are believing that the odd is sort of like swinging away from Wike as the court seem to have managed to put a hold on the impeachment plots or the impeachment plan of Fubara. Some even gathered in Rivers on this matter too, talking about with the Wike, by the way, but these ones are like PDP. They're not even like APC members.
Yes, for Wike. Are you still the governor of Rivers State? Once a governor emerges, he takes over the leadership of that party. So by the fact that Seun Okinbaloye has emerged as the governor of Rivers State today, he is the leader of that party. So if they come here to tell you the contract is a lie, no. If they come here to tell you a different thing, it's a lie. What they are running today is NGO. It's not a political party. It's not a political platform. They cannot sponsor candidates for elections. To my brother Aaron Chukwuemeka is not the chairman of PDP. Chairman Aaron Chukwuemeka is the chairman of GTI. To our House of Assembly members, you see, when you have people that their father sent to school, and they go to that school, and they don't understand what the school is all about, you begin to pity them. If they are men of honor, let them interpret the Constitution. Before somebody will come here to begin to assume the place of you want to do the work of a legislator and the work of a governor, it's not possible now. Martin Samehule met me in the house, and he knows how we organize the house. The House of Assembly is designed to facilitate the work of the governor. We are elected to serve the state, not to serve Oluwa Wike. Oluwa Wike, according to Dino Milaye. As if Dino Milaye called him Oluwa Wike, he has not responded, he has not said anything. The people, that group of persons, that by their own action, are no longer serving Rivers people. They are serving Oluwa Wike. And Oluwa Wike, by interpretation, you see, we send our children to school. When it gets to WAEC or NECO, you are expected to write how many subjects? 9. By the time you write 9, you are expected to pass 5, at least 5. to be able to gain admission in the university. But let us grade Oluwawike now. Agriculture, score him. Transportation, score him. Direct foreign investment, score him. Human capital development, score him. Youth empowerment and employment, score him. Missing result, score him. Bridge, overhead bridge, score him. Overhead bridge, score him well. If we 8 years out of 9 subjects, Oluwawike scored only 30 in overhead bridge, can we say he's a successful student? No. Can he gain admission into the university? No. Can he succeed as president of Nigeria? No. Oluwawike should come and repeat class. He should come and do what? Repeat class. He should come and keep behind the scene. But look at him now, he has brought joy. We are happy. When you see a governor, you know he's a governor. Look at how we are.
Tiagasa, they tiagas him. He fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. But
Rivers drama, you actually captured it right. Gaba Life, it is their drama. It's always part of the sauce. So what we cook on Mayegun's Diary Political every time, the characters that are pervading the space of Nigeria's political space. And there are always going to be those that you are going to continue to find in all these institutions, all these offices, all these positions, making decisions for millions of people, you know. Anyway, it seemed that an undisclosed investor, or part of the investors that they met in France when Kolu went to France, met in Brazil when Kolu went to Brazil, met with Lula da Silva, remember? He was there for a few days on a state visit. And this was after he went to that Caribbean island. You remember that one? Anyway, here is one undisclosed investor that was possibly caught in the act. A Brazilian lady was caught with a 30 kilogram of cocaine being brought into Nigeria. Like, Baba, do you know what is kg? Yeah? For some of you who have seen me go to the gym, right? You see all those dumbbells that I lift. Some of them are just like 16. And if I put 16 here, I'll show you. I put 16 dumbbell here, 16 dumbbell here. The moment I go 1, 2, 3, 4, when I get to like 7, I'm going to be like 8. Or somebody carry 30 kg cocaine. Which kind of confidence is that? Like, what kind of country do you really think you are going when you bag something that is that heavy and it's actually drug? Well, she was caught.
your name?
Does she take off this first?
And this your luggage? This is you. This one is yours. This is your bag. It says Rosa here. That's your name? That's your name, right? Okay. So this. Okay. This one. Right? So, yeah, we are starting. Raise it.
The fifth pack. 5. So this one. So, yeah, heroin. So, same, heroin. Heroin.
Even they pity this, they know they pity us for that Nigeria. Politicians are looting money meant for infrastructural development, meant for education, investments, money they could have invested in healthcare to improve the lives of the people, young people, some of them who are graduates, unemployed, frustrated, right? Hardening the economy. Now won't finish them with drugs. Heroin, no, that's not even cocaine. People they pack heroin like they are packing semo inside the coffee bag, filled like it's just bag of coffee. Waiting Nigerians do these people, for goodness sake. It's like the world is ganging up against Nigerians, if you have to think of it. The social safety net is not there for anybody. You just have to hustle for everything. In the process, when Nigeria hits you or happen to you at a certain age, you may never really recover from that. Many young people in Nigeria today are falling into the comfort arm of different substances, drugs. People just go abroad and then they load drugs inside. I mean, I thought Nigerians always like move drugs outside Nigeria, I mean, come on. Like, how are these guys even seeing Nigeria from outside the world? You get what I mean? And like criminals all over the world. What do you think they think of Nigeria? So I don't understand why anybody will just buy. I mean, this person walked through the airport, past their own airport in Brazil. They didn't stop her in Brazil. They didn't see the drug in Brazil. Yeah? I mean, if she's coming from Brazil, and how many of them actually traveled to Nigeria before? Because usually they don't just send one person. They may send like maybe 10, 20 on different flights. Some of them will scale through, some won't. It's actually crazy. I don't know. I was thinking of that when I saw the video and I was like, oh God. But anyway, thanks to the NDLEA and the officials, okay? Even though in this whole mess, they are still very much doing their best. I've seen a lot of their videos where they have discovered some of these illegal drugs and all that. And for those who probably have seen the effect of this on Nigerians, especially the young ones, you have to give them their own flowers. So I'm giving them their flowers. Thank you. And thank you to all of you as well for your time this evening. I am going to remind you to please, if you haven't liked the broadcast already, please do. So I am going to see you another time. And I actually hope that we would have the People's Parliament soon. And in the absence of that, right, we should have our phone in also very soon, hopefully. Thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I am going to see you another time. So it's going to be a good night from here. Labor. And then I start Ben Banjo. See you later. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n
ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.